When you find the angles, you're nice. Okay?
Nicely poised, this.
Let's use that jab.
Punches landed, the statistic. Only 6 between them. Close on the body. More head punches. Not often you see Booth caught as much as you have tonight.
Not often seeing him missing as much either, and that's been the problem. That's why the smoothness has not been there, because he's missing with the first shot and he's not in a position to follow up because Marsh has got himself out of there. But are we entering the stage now where the experience of Booth is going to be so important?
This is the 18th time that he's been scheduled for 12 rounds. You've got Marsh 3 up, but there is plenty of time.
Yep, there's a knockdown which gives him that extra point.
Marsh has only completed the championship course a couple of times. Body shot from Marsh, back came Booth with one to the head, looked more hurtful. Just a shift here. Booth showing signs of improvement. Good jab again from Marsh, and a right hand. Walked onto that, Booth. Reflexes not quite what they were. May have to really grit this one out, Jim.
Yeah, well, at least he's starting to do the right things now. But Marsh not looking all that impressed about it. He's always been happy to fire back.
Tough, valiant Matthew Marsh. But the power, lack of it, one knockout. Booth might just feel he can walk Marsh down as the rounds tick by. That's what he's trying to do here. He's changing tactics and becoming more confident.
Yeah, we're seeing little feints and threats now from Booth before he goes to work. He's not reaching with the punches the way he did in some of the early rounds. Still really close round here.
Just unsettled Marsh, Booth. Needs to keep to that game plan, the Londoner. They've worked so hard on.
But when you have trouble pinning a fighter down, usually the rules are don't throw single punches, and maybe that's one of Booth's problems. He's not putting them together.
Back comes Marsh to tighten up the 7th. Just looks happier now, though, Booth.
Yeah, more settled within himself.
One shot ain't enough.
Every time I go in.
Welcome back to a fascinating affair for the British and Commonwealth Super Bantamweight titles. And a very interested spectator is Rendell Munro, who is a stablemate of Jason Booth, a very good friend of Jason Booth, the current European champion, who is going into a world title eliminator in April. That might free up the European belt for Booth to go for that. He's the mandatory #1 contender, Booth, but he's got business to deal with here first at domestic level. Is he going to win?
Well, for the first time, his jab has started working. Good right hand to it from Booth. Marsh just has to be careful. He doesn't want to change tactics too much. Booth finding the target now. All the experience with so many championship fights under his belt be important to Jason Booth.
Just walking into a couple now, Marsh. He's up the pace, the tempo, Booth. He's changed tactics. That's impressive.
Yeah, he's finding the target now. Obviously, Marsh doesn't have the same movement he had earlier. Not the same head movement either. So Booth throwing punches over the top. Ah, lovely move there from Booth. Well, the smoothness is beginning to show itself now.
Finally, the classy moves, the little sneaky shots from the angles that we've been treated to over the years come out. Maybe he really was troubled by the eye in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, I thought he was struggling even before the injury. But maybe it's just the fact that maybe if Marsh keeps doing the same things, then Booth will eventually find an answer. So can Marsh change, come up with something else? The jab's not working quite the way it was earlier. The movement's not as good, not posing the problems. So can he come up with something else? Because Booth is definitely the one improving at the moment. Booth's jab is landing, which wasn't happening in the first few rounds.
He's turned this around, Jason Booth. He's on the front foot in the ascendancy, and his punches are beginning to work. Showing something else tonight again, Booth, isn't he? Heart and courage, determination to keep this run going.
Yeah, see, we keep talking about the smoothness and the tricks that Booth knows, but he's also very gritty, he's tough.
Out of range with the jab, Marsh, good defence from Booth. A total swing in the fight. Marsh just looking at his corner a bit despondently, as if to say, what now? What next? Can he change? Let's see what Spencer thinks. He wanted Booth to change, and he has.
Well, Spencer, has the tide changed?
Well, the tide certainly has changed. Jason Booth now starting to grind his way back into this contest. I've got him winning the last 3 rounds, but I've still got him 3 behind it. There's still a lot of work to be done, but Matthew Marsh starting to struggle in there a little bit. The movement has slowed down. He's only throwing the single shots, and for the first time in the last couple of rounds, Jason Booth has started to look more smooth, throwing the punches in bunches, the Jason Booth that we're used to, and it's working for him.
Is Marsh tiring?
Well, Marsh certainly is tiring because the foot movement has now slowed down. He's only throwing the single shots. If he wants to keep that lead, he needs to get that footwork moving again. He needs to get those straight 1-2s going, and he's got to unsettle Jason Booth. Booth at the moment starting to find his rhythm.
Thank you, Spencer.
Incredible, the odds. Both now. 10-11. How they've swung. Sign of a good fight.
Well, you can see I still have Marsh 1 point up. I've given Booth the same as Spencer the last 3 rounds. The knockdown probably was keeping Marsh that point ahead. But the problem for Marsh is that Booth seems to be the one on the ascendancy, so he has to try to impose himself once more as he did earlier.
Inside opinion, as always, there's a difference. Some have Marsh in a bigger lead. 2 have Booth. Phil Edwards, Howard Foster in front of us, and Terry O'Connor, the 3 judges at ringside. Gum shield out, Marsh's. And a momentary respite, a breather. Does Marsh need it more? Good right hand, and another one. Just needs to get that belief back, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has to try to impose himself on Booth, take some of the play away. Booth has been allowed to come forward, play in the centre of the ring. This is better from Marsh. I thought that was borderline, but the referee pulling him up about the low blow.
Concentration, a key now, as his work rate. Booth goes southpaw, and Marsh just hurt, dazed by that. Just seemed to stop, didn't he?
I'm not sure if it was just something that happened with the feet coming together or whatever. I don't know that the punch was that solid. I mean, he looks okay now. And he's just trying to force things out a bit more, Marsh. That's all you can do now. We've reached the stage where it's what you're prepared to put in to your work. It's not quite so much about tactics as it was earlier. It's just about, you know, biting down on the gum shield and forcing out a performance. That's what Marsh is going to have to do now.
Booth there beginning to work the body. And if Marsh is struggling at the weight, he was over in an English title match with Josh Whale.
I don't think Booth's been as impressive this round. I think Marsh has tried to raise the pace. I think he's realised, you know, that the play was taken away from him a little bit. Not much to split them in this round. Good stuff there from Marsh.
Yeah, back comes Marsh. They open up. The two little men. Giving the fans value for money.
So that's what Marsh is going to have to do. He's got himself into a lead on my card, so it's just a case of forcing out a performance now. Not quite so much about tactics. Just do not allow Booth to dominate or to take the initiative.
Blood trickles from the right eye, but did Marsh nick that? Close. Plenty still ahead here on Friday Fight Night. It's a good one in Nottingham. Oval Mackenzie, big puncher, in with Billy Boyle, the aggressive Sheffield light heavyweight. And an excellent match between Martin Conception and Kevin Hammond at light middleweight. Don't miss that one.
See, Booth has been asked to do this so often in his career. Just find the extra gear, just dig in and bring something out of yourself. Marsh, although he's been in some tough battles, has been asked quite so often. You see that the start's leaning towards Booth. But the knockdown and the good start from Marsh, I still have him in front.
Second round, round 10.
Vital last 3 rounds. And John Keane, the referee, is going to rub the grease, I think, off Matthew Marsh's eye, does he?
It's the doctor, no, it's the doctor who wants. He could have rubbed the grease. He wants the doctor to have a look at it, which is unusual when a cut isn't bleeding.
Well, will that affect Marsh's confidence? Booth goes straight in on the attack. The sweat-stained West Ham colours of Matthew Marsh, who's put on a really good display. But can he wrench the British title away? Money back on Booth. 11-4 on. A great deal going on the Nottingham man.
Yeah, well, he's the one who's improved since the halfway stage. Got a smoother look about his boxing. Although full credit to Marsh the way he's been digging in, and that's what his corner asked from him in between rounds. So he's just got to dig in now and just keep pumping the punches.
Classy work from Booth there. And is the Marsh tank just emptying? He looks at Johnny Eames in the corner, rather worryingly, going through a bad patch. It's ragged from Marsh.
But as I say, all he can do is just show his grit and just force out a performance. It's not about boxing skills now. It's just about desire, will to win. And what you've got left in the tank, lovely uppercut from Booth.
Former British and Commonwealth flyweight champion does walk into a right hand there from Marsh. He's held belts at bantamweight recently, now at super bantamweight. It's the victory over Mark Moran when Matthew Marsh pulled out. And Marsh pulling out has given Booth a real run, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it's a completely different fight from the one I expected. I mean, full credit to Marsh. He's come in here with a plan. OK, he's looking for a plan B at the moment. But the plan he came in with worked so well, got him off to a tremendous start. But Booth has been trimming things back.
It's fast becoming a championship fight of 2 halves. Marsh part 1, Booth now very much part 2. It's a great effort, this, from Marsh. Does he know enough? There's blood, a lot of blood now, coming from that eye. There's damage just under the right of Booth too. It's bloody and messy, and John Keane might have a look at that eye again.
Relax. Come on, Jim. Michelle. Relax, relax, relax. I ain't got no words, just breathe. Jimmy, do his job. All right? Nice deep breaths. Up. And out. Up. And out. Up. And out. Is all right, ref? Thank you. It's all right. Stop there.
Work for punch rate. Okay, good. Watch the flipping counter punches. That's the ones that's making you look bad. The counter punches. All right? You just leave yourself out. Tuck in. Get on back underneath him. All right? And watch that head, because that's what done that. Okay? He's cut back.
10 men.
I need you to really work at that cut down. Really work at that cut down.
Jay, you need these 2 rounds.
I've just been gauging opinion from the press right.